It is 7:03 on Thursday, March 26th, and I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order. This is a hybrid meeting and it is being recorded. I have with me in the room from the Finance Committee, Maury Creighton, Peter Twining, Dean Nahanis, and myself, Sarah Melish. Andy Olderman and John Crotty were not able to attend. I'm expecting, well, Gar might have said he couldn't attend too. I think Gar said he couldn't attend, so I think
He's in South Carolina.
yeah, that's right. Also in the room from the select board is Ann Harrison and John Round, and from the town administrator, Tony Barlow. And I gather that Andrea is home with a sick kid.
She is.
So the fiscal year, the first item is the fiscal year 25 unpaid bills. Is my understanding that's a warrant article, so we'll cover it when we get to that warrant article.
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with the snow removal budget.
Yes.
Okay. Anything to discuss on the fiscal year 27 budget? Or are we locked and loaded based on what we voted on?
What's that?
We're locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded.
Yes. Next is the Senior Community Center update on the closing.
Okay, so we had a meeting with the Masons and their council and our council. Yes, was that yesterday?
Yesterday afternoon.
It was yesterday afternoon in this room. I locked the door and didn't let anyone out until we finished. So we left the room in agreement of the people in that room. You know, we were all in agreement with the language. So the next step is for the Masons to bring it to their building committee. They'll be doing that this weekend. And then to get a green light vote. And then we're having an executive session Monday night with the select board to have that vote. And then should those things go well, it'll probably take a week or so for the attorneys to put together all the closing documents and file with the registry of deeds. So it's, unless some unforeseen thing comes up in either of those two meetings, we're on track for about a week or so out.
You expect to close a week after that?
That's what they said. I mean, always when you file with the registry of deeds, they could come back and say, you gotta, you're missing this or change that, and they could bump it out. But I think if the building committee meeting goes well this weekend and the select board meeting goes well Monday, I think we can say that the deal is done. It's just pending process with the registry.
Until it's done.
Yeah.
Right, we heard this.
Title search.
We're a little skeptical.
Is this sort of for a PNS that then marches toward a formal, like,
Yes.
closing, or is this
No,
a,
the
these are the
PNS was signed 2 years ago.
right, so,
These are the closing documents.
okay,
So we have a master deed, a declaration of trust, a side agreement, and plans.
mhm.
And then whatever other paperwork is required.
Condominium.
That's the condo docs, yep. And then they've already completed their deregistration process, so it's recorded land now. So it'll be easier as far as the process goes with the registry.
Okay. So I guess we'll address that when we get to the warrant article. What we want to do. Which brings us to the warrant.
You want to go through the one? Okay.
Article 1. This is one where we normally take no position.
I moved that we take note of the.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 2, to pay these big salaries.
Oh, yeah.
usually recommend.
Do we recommend?
Yes.
No, let me look.
I would think we would take no position because there's no financial impact.
I feel like that's right. I'm inclined to recommend you take the
Looks like
payment.
it's selectmen being paid way too much.
We took no position last year.
It's a lot of
I
work.
think that's right.
Okay. Page
Okay.
20,
No position.
page 20.
Okay. Can I have a vote? Vote, motion for no position?
So moved.
So, yep. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Article 3 is the unpaid bills. So we'd seen this, the last two before. The new one is the audio for town meeting, which is 19,370. Is that for 1 year or 2 years? That's for 2 years. For a total of 21,237, and it's coming from free cash fund balance.
And we do have the bill for this, right? At this
Yes.
point, we're not waiting.
No, they
for
came
anything.
in.
This is
Yep.
all in
Yep.
hand.
Yep.
And that's resolved. It's a final bill. Yep.
Yes.
So do I have a motion to approve?
You do.
Second. This is for the whole group, right?
Yeah.
21,000.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That'll be a 4/5 vote. At town meeting.
Right. Next is Article 4, which is the operating budget, which we have previously voted on every section of this budget. And it has not changed since we voted on it, correct, Tony?
Typically, it's section by section, I think total section by section, right?
No, we've already voted on the sections. We're just recommending this article. We don't vote by
Correct.
section. Yeah,
Correct, I'm sorry, town meeting does that, yes,
Yeah.
correct. Yep, and I'm missing that line here, but I'll put it in.
right. So page 5 is the end of that article.
Make a motion that we approve the budget as presented for Article 4.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is all
This is the operating budget.
It's the same as we've been through and voted section by section.
Basically saying we recommend approval. That's what we're
Correct.
asking for. We've already approved it ourselves. It's we're
Right.
recommending approval on town meeting floor.
Do you want to recommend, include the funding sources in your recommendation?
Yeah, we're including the entire article, which includes the funding sources.
Okay, fine.
The funding sources are at the bottom.
Yep.
So we're approving the budget and the funding sources, just to be clear.
Correct.
Yep, sorry.
A vote?
Yes,
Yes,
Motion second and vote. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
we recommend this one, Article 4.
Article 5 is the capital budget,
Yes.
which we have approved and does not include the senior center, which was on the last version we saw. That's now a separate
Separate article.
warrant article.
Mhm.
Excuse me, senior/community center. I read today in the paper that you're not supposed to use senior in any name anymore.
I know. The state's moving away from it.
Whatever.
That'd be interesting.
So this is a budget of 2,152,492, and it has the funding sources. So this excludes the capital projects
Right.
that are being bonded.
Right.
under separate warrant articles.
Yeah.
Those are separate warrant articles. Yeah, so these are the capital items being paid out of general fund taxes, fund balance, sewer funds, and other funds, which is the 17,000 perpetual care funds
That's
So.
for the
basically recommend-
cemetery software.
So we recommend that the finance committee recommend approval of this article.
Do I have a second?
okay.
Any discussion?
It won't be unanimous, not with the harbor improvements in there. But you still recommend. I will. But I just voted that way in the meeting too.
So you're not voting on the entire warrant?
Well,
Sure.
if it's all one warrant and that's in it, yeah, I wouldn't support it personally. So the committee might vote to recommend it, as a majority, 3-1.
So I think we're talking about two separate things here. We voted collectively as a finance committee on this whole article. But what we're voting on right now is whether we recommend approval on town
Right.
meeting floor.
Right.
Which is kind of a little different thing. So
We
it's
have-
a majority, it's.
We have a fifth member of the committee on Zoom.
Gar.
Gar is on Zoom.
Hello,
Hi, Gar. We're on the article number 5, the capital budget.
okay,
And we're voting on, there's been a motion and a second to recommend approval on town meeting floor. Dean has said he's not gonna vote for it. What's your position?
it was my intention that we would either approve or not approve this. And are there any changes to this motion that from our last meeting?
The senior center is not included in this article.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
So it's the capital items that we approved in prior meetings.
Okay, so are you asking me to vote or
Yes,
just my point of view?
no, I'm asking for a vote. Right now, the vote stands at Maury says yes, Peter says yes, I say yes, and Dean says no.
Okay, well, my vote is yes.
Great. So it's approved 4-1
For recommendation on town meeting floor.
for recommendation on town meeting floor.
See, I might want to strike the harbor on town meeting floor, so I would be kind of a hypocrite if I approved it and then. approved it.
Okay? It's just that we need 4 for a majority. Just.
You got it. You got it.
The next is the
Senior center.
senior center. The 350,000 from the recreation revolving fund. My tendency is to say, well, make the recommendation on town meeting floor. Because we don't own it as of today.
May I ask a question?
Yes,
The question is, do we own this property or not?
not yet. He's hoping to close within a week or 2.
Okay, I would not be supportive of this.
So what I'm suggesting, Gar, is that we wait. In the booklet, we say we'll make a recommendation on town meeting floor. And that at a later meeting, we'll take a vote on whether or not we support it once we own it.
And to own it means to go to record.
Yes,
So mechanically, we usually meet before town meeting.
well,
Hopefully, we would have the information then, and then.
Yeah.
We could vote as a committee and say,
Right.
we approve this, and then you and your comments could say the committee has learned information and approves this.
yeah.
Or recommends
Yeah,
not.
we also meet on April 16th.
Right.
That's useful reminder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion that we make our recommendation on town meeting floor.
Yep.
I have a second, Peter?
Yes, you did.
In favor, all in favor?
Yes.
Maury, Peter,
Yes.
Dean, are you in favor of that, Gar?
I think he heard you.
Right.
I don't know if he's muted.
This doesn't seem to be muted.
Are you asking for my vote?
Yeah,
No, I vote no.
We're voting on whether we're going to make our recommendation on town meeting floor. We're not voting on whether we're supporting it or not.
I understand. It is my
Okay.
feeling that the process, the governance, the procedure that has been undertaken to this date is unacceptable.
Okay,
That for us to put off for another 2 weeks is foolishness. And that's just my personal point of view. I don't think it's been well run, and I don't feel comfortable giving them an extra 3 days, 5 days, 12 days. I think they've blown it, and I'm not, that's the reason I'm not voting for it.
okay, that's fine. Next is Article 7, which is 171,435 for the Essex North Shore Agricultural and Technical School for 8 students.
So recommend approval.
Your second,
I would.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Are you in favor of that, Gar?
Aye.
Article 8 is the school budget.
I recommend approval.
Do we usually get this in writing for the book or not?
No, it's in the motions. I wanted.
That's
it
right,
in
because
the
they
book,
have
but-
3 motions, don't they?
Yeah, they have
So-
3 motions, so,
All right.
Operating capital and.
Operating capital and the regional agreement.
yeah.
So the numbers haven't changed since we approved them before, right? Okay.
They are the numbers from,
Right, they were like
3,
3 weeks ago.
We could include the motions in the book. I don't think they're gonna change.
okay,
But it's,
that's a good idea.
We could do it as an appendix, in the back of the book, if you wanted. It makes sense, because we don't typically put motions, it doesn't seem like we typically put motions in this part of the book.
Right, right.
So we could put it, but usually it's a handout, I guess, at town meeting, so we could put it in the
Okay.
back of the book.
So we could say we recommend X amount of dollars for the school. Right, and X amount of dollars for debt service.
That's the key part right there.
Okay.
And the approval of the regional agreement, we do by clockwork every year. It's just if the numbers change, it's also kind of in the book, which is great, going back and looking at it.
Where the regional agreement just requires that affirmation every year, regardless whether there's any change or anything else.
Right.
Okay. So we want to make a motion that we approve the school operating budget assessment in the amount of 18,058,187.50. And the debt service, the capital budget, which is the debt service, in the amount of 2,573,924.16. I think we normally round it to the nearest dollar. I don't know. We'll just put that in because that's the numbers we have. Okay?
Yep.
Do I have a second?
You do.
Any discussion? A vote.
Aye.
Aye,
Yes,
aye, aye.
yes. for me.
Gar, you in
Yes.
favor?
Yes.
Okay. Because I think there's room to put it right in with our recommendation. We've had things with our recommendation before with little comments.
You want the actual motions for town meeting floor?
No, we
there, or
want,
just these, the
we
full
want,
ones
the
to,
finance committee recommends the operating budget of the 18 million and the capital budget of the 2 million. We want those dollar amounts in there,
okay,
so that everyone knows what we're approving.
okay.
And that way, if they come in the next 2 weeks and say we want another $400,000, we.
All right,
Don't want to go there.
Next is Article 9, which is the OPEB payment of $420,000. Where are we paying this from?
That's coming out of,
Taxation? It's
I
taxation.
think it is.
I asked to have this specific as to where it was coming from. Didn't make it.
Well, it should be in there.
It's always been.
In the past, we've used fund balance, but not this year. Yeah,
We vary.
right.
We
right.
varied each year. Let me look at the estimated tax recap and see if I can see.
Is it under pensions?
No. OPEB's not in the budget. It's always separate,
Okay.
which is why it's a separate article. So it's other articles 4, which she is. Okay, so Article 5. Is using 225 from fund balance. I can't find.
Can't either.
Because it's coming out of, we've got all this, oh, wait a minute, free cash, the only free cash we're using is 225. Which is covering,
The ADA
The-
bathroom was 250, wasn't it? On free cash.
It must be going towards road resurfacing.
no,
Under 5, it says taxation and fund balance for, oh no, I'm sorry, I see fund balance, you have 75 for general buildings. So the 225 from fund balance is a combination of the 75,000 for general building upgrades and a portion of the road resurfacing. So 150 up to 450.
so it's not being used for OPEB. OPEB is coming out of taxation. Which is consistent with what my
That's what I thought it
understanding
was.
is. Okay,
So what's the final number is 420 and it's used, and what were the sources?
taxation.
So
Taxation.
would you like, kind of like what we had?
To eliminate the transfer from available funds line, or,
Do you want, we could do a chart, a chart like in Article 6, it would have the amount and the funding source. You can
Yes.
Put something like that right in underneath it,
that would be great.
that chart. That table.
So I have a motion to approve the OPEB trust fund contribution, 420,000 from taxation.
Yes,
Second.
yes, you do.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Well, I will say that I know this has been a big goal of the towns for many, many years. This is a big moment here.
Yes,
Going to recommend funding to finally complete the.
Is this the final or do we have next year?
no, this is fine.
Oh, we ought to have a cake or something.
We
for this.
made so much in investment
Yeah.
earnings that we thought we were gonna have to pay 150,000, but we were able to increase the 360 to 420 and.
There's not a lot of towns.
I know,
They all-
we always get close and
Which
then we're like
one?
another year, so that's why I asked.
We'll have a swing of like 700,000 next
Great.
year because we won't put into OPEB except for the 100-odd thousand for
Yeah.
active employees, and then
We're like under 10
we can pay
communities in the
the
state.
four hundred and
doing
fifty
this.
thousand of retiree
Great.
premium.
Yeah.
Well, you just
Right.
explained why I was confused in your text. Okay, there's 100,000 still going for active.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's what I didn't understand.
Do you have a vote, Gar?
Yes,
Okay. Okay. Article 10 is revolving funds. Recreation 550 max and health 50,000 max.
Those are the same as the past year, are they not?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I all wanted to know.
So that is program fees, I mean, payments coming into those funds. So then they can spend their expenses out of it, and we added the health last year, I think, for their vaccination clinics. That they needed this in order to take in the reimbursement from the insurance carriers. As I recall.
Just a question, it's probably an Andrea question, but this is basically, this cap or limit is at the end of the year when all expenses and revenues have been realized. Because,
No.
because at any given moment, this revolving fund may go above a certain amount of
It's-
revenues coming in.
Big limit, so they can't spend more than 550.
Okay.
It doesn't say,
On the revenue side,
Right, it can carry more.
yeah,
Okay.
You can only spend 550 out of
it
it.
doesn't cap the amount that can go in.
it's fine.
Found
Yeah,
out
that's-
with the senior center,
But,
which we found out with the senior center.
right.
So just, we can talk about it another time. I was thinking, for fields and stuff like that, some of the expenses for returf work might be, but we'll cover that down the road.
I think you would do it like we're proposing for the senior center, you'd have a separate article.
Yeah,
It's coming out
because
of
the
that
amount would
fund,
be big.
Yeah,
This would be the funding source
Yeah.
for bigger.
I think that next fall.
Yeah.
We need to have it on an item on an agenda.
Right.
And kind of discuss. What's available in the revolving fund and what possible capital items it might be expended on. I think that's what we need to do, because I don't think that we've been receiving reports on the revolving funds to understand that there was a significant
true.
amount of available cash in it.
5 million in the sewer and water and sewer.
Oh, water and sewer I get every year and I put into the report.
Yeah.
It's
I know,
not that much anymore. We're down to 900 at the end of this,
If we're making a transfer.
right, at the end of this budget. Yeah, so it's not. Okay, so do I have a motion to recommend
those limits.
Article 10?
Yes,
So moved.
Uh,
Whatever you-
Okay. All in favor?
I-
aye,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
That article, I believe the Muni Modernization Act allows you to take a vote at town meeting that would set those limits in place. And that you wouldn't have to vote on them on an annual basis unless you were changing the cap.
do we have to make that a bylaw?
No, it would just be a town meeting vote, so it's something that if you
Next
wanted.
year,
If you wanted to reduce the number of articles that you have to vote on at town meeting, it's something that you could consider.
okay.
I don't think we ever get a whole lot of discussion on this one, do we?
No.
Probably not.
It just
We
kind of,
don't even know.
hopefully don't focus on it.
Probably not.
Okay,
There's a limit of spending.
Yeah.
now we're getting into
11?
capital items. So Article 11 is PFAS. 16.5 million.
And Tony, this covers both the local bylaw I mean, does this language it does the job, both departments?
It'll-
Both as to bands,
Yes, this language would allow us to borrow on our own or borrow through SRF.
and meet the local requirement for borrow or spending that you mentioned at the start of the meeting. You said there's a bylaw that requires a vote when you,
Oh,
That's for revolving
that's for that is for the ballot.
Oh.
So the ballot,
Oh,
yeah, and I did look up.
that language doesn't need to come here, that language on the ballot.
I did look up 2024 and it was 2 votes on the
Okay.
ballot.
Good.
I wonder if that's, at a minimum for next year's discussion, for that bylaw, maybe you only require a ballot vote if it doesn't already require it because of a Prop 2.5 exclusion requirement, because it's gonna be confusing. There's 10 questions
Yeah.
for 5 projects
Right.
on the ballot. So it's confusing. I mean, what if you vote one yes on one and no on the other?
Then where do you stand? No,
So it might be worth something next year to look at.
Okay.
Particularly when you get people who are tired and they say, what are we actually voting on? And then you
Yes,
have to
yes.
repeat.
Or didn't I already vote on this?
Right, or am I,
They're not
am
gonna
I,
ask on the
am I
ballot.
approving twice as much money?
Right. exactly.
Okay. Do I have a motion to recommend Article 11?
Did 16, the funding source, wasn't something coming out of the sewer revolving account? Is it all gonna be the override, or are we gonna,
No, we're hoping for money from other sources.
but this allows them to charge 16.5.
This is so that they can go out to bid. So again, all this is doing is setting a cap.
A cap.
So they can go out to bid and the bid cannot exceed this cap.
Right,
But the actual cost to the town will depend on what it actually costs to build, less any type of grants or litigation settlements we might receive, which is something that I addressed in the report. I said that, or we could have some state reimbursements.
all of that is
All-
true.
That will just reduce the actual amount of bond we
Right.
go out with.
You might be thinking of the state revolving fund.
I was
That's what
thinking that,
SRF, that's what SRF stands for.
right, I was thinking that we were transferring some of the 5 million in the revolving fund.
What
to
revolving
keep
fund?
The water and sewer.
Enterprise?
Enterprise, not
No.
revolving, I used the wrong word.
Yeah. No, this is all debt exclusion.
Right, so we're gonna keep the 5 million in the bank and.
We don't have that at the end of this, after the, if you look on the information under fund balance in my report, on July 1st, 2026, with approval of the fiscal year 27 budget, we expect reserves, fund balance plus stabilization, to be a little over 4 million and 900,000 in the water and sewer enterprise funds as retained earnings. So that's all we're gonna have
Okay.
in the water and sewer. The total will be 4.9 million between the reserves and the water and sewer retained earnings. So we don't have 5 million.
Okay,
Last year, we had, at the beginning of the year, we had 1.1 million of retained earnings in water and sewer. And we're spending some of it on
yeah,
capital projects.
okay, cause some, in the financial highlights, you do mention 5.4 million of retained earnings.
But that is the total of the fund balance plus stabilization at 4.3 million and the water and sewer at 1.1 million.
That's all reserves.
Yeah, it's the total of the two.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're spending down the fund balance and stabilization down to about 8.7% of the budget.
What are we spending that on?
The 200, the only amount we have is the 225,000 that's going for capital. We spent all our excess reserves last year.
Well, I was just, in the enterprise fund, what is making our retained earnings go from 5.4 million?
They're not, that's not the retained earnings. That's the total of the fund balance, the stabilization,
Okay,
and the retained earnings.
so then that paragraph might be a little confusing in your letter.
Oh,
Question,
yes, sir.
this is at 16.5, it has gone out to bid, is that
It has
subject?
not gone out to bid.
It is, it's on the street.
Oh, it's on the
Yeah.
street, okay.
Yeah.
And I understand numbers will come back before the meeting. Is this 16.5 subject to what might come back, or are we gonna stay with 16.5 no matter what?
I think it's too complicated
I
to
agree.
adjust it.
The problem is that the bids come in 2 days after the deadline for the ballot questions. So even if we adjusted the number for town meeting, the ballot question is
It is 16.5.
16.5, so it probably just makes sense to leave it.
It's just,
I mean, all we're doing is appropriating a maximum
we
amount.
don't have to, we don't have to buy.
Yeah,
We
so
hopefully don't.
if it comes in less, then we know we'll be bonding for less.
As long as it's conservative, it wouldn't.
It is.
We have tariff induced bids now.
Right,
Yes,
It's gonna be a new ballgame.
yes, the
Right.
scary part is if it comes in higher than that number.
Right.
this is the article where they went out to bid for two possible scenarios. One is with the SRF, which has a 2% bond repayment, but you have to use domestic sourced
Right.
materials.
Right.
So the upfront cost would be more. And then they included the option of bonding locally at the 4 to 4.5% with lower material costs, and they're gonna take the total bid that costs the least amount of money overall. It's my
Cause
understanding.
yeah, the tariffs might be a neutralizer on the.
Exactly, yeah, we don't know, right. But they were going out to bid both ways. So do we recommend approval of Article 11?
Do, yes.
Have a motion,
Yes.
second? Vote,
To
Gar,
Yes,
thank you.
Sarah, can I ask one question? I'm
Yes.
sorry to back up, but
Oh,
on.
no,
No, but bear with me. On the revolving fund question,
yeah,
the revolving fund for Parks and Rec is listed at 550,000.
right,
But last year, the town, it was listed at 450,000.
so it did increase.
So did we increase it? It was late in
We
the
weren't,
meeting.
we weren't aware that it was increasing.
Or did more people enroll? in the-
No.
Oh, this is the cap.
This is the cap.
Hmm.
So it was Article 18 at the end of the meeting. And, typical, 162 people voted for it and 5 against. Nobody wanted to get out of there. But, I don't recall it being increased. So I'm wondering if this is a typo that we wanna, or what we know about it. This is what I raised the, last year. 450.
I'll text
Okay.
Andrea, see if she gets me an answer.
I have the Parks and Rec. Memo.
I was pulling this from what was printed in the.
I'm
Book
looking
from
at the
last
memo
year.
she sent us that when we discussed the budget to see if she talks about revolving fund. She did not ask for an increase.
Should we be asking also?
She spent 360,000 in the past year.
This one from last year just said 450 was the cap,
Right, and
And
she
it was-
she actually
What was
spent,
Health board cap?
50,000.
Okay.
and she actually spent 360,000, well under the 450.
So I.
And she did not request an increase in her memo.
And Board of Health didn't increase, and there's any
This is
indication.
a Parks and Rec
I know
memo,
it's Parks
not
and
a
Rec.
Board of Health memo, so
I know. Just asking you to be sure we cover the whole barnyard here.
And we said increase in programs offered, enrollment in summer camp mostly, and increase in after-school program. So it's,
So there's a need for an increase.
yeah, I guess it's not a typo. It should have been higher last year, she said.
Okay. So maybe from the year before.
yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, the problem is their cycle on expenses does not fit into a fiscal year. I mean, they're collecting.
Oh, I'm not worried about.
So
the
it's hard
mechanics
to
of it.
know.
Is the cap is something we vote on. And
Right.
presumably we voted on it at some point and the selectmen voted on it at some point. And that's the number that should just be there until somebody decides to change it.
And
I'm
she's-
just confused about why the number's changing.
That's what
It's probably a,
Andrew was
it's
saying.
probably a.
No, Andrea's.
No, I think Andrea's asking for it to change.
Yeah, she said not a typo.
Okay,
So is there any
Increase-
request we should put into the health board about requesting that any change in their number?
No,
No,
let's not go there, Pete.
no, they haven't come close.
Okay.
They're still working on building up that account so that it can
Okay.
fully fund their vaccine costs
Vaccination
in the
program,
future.
yeah.
That's been like a
Mhm.
5-year process.
I'm curious if the expenditures were like 375.
360,
Why wouldn't 450 be enough,
I don't know.
right? Well, I mean, Andrew's saying it was too low last year, I mean, but it
This,
wasn't.
well, this is for fiscal year 25.
There's a,
So the problem
months.
is it crosses fiscals, so it may be that in the fiscal year 26, they're spending more. And they only have 450 to spend. Right.
Because the funds come in the
Early.
the old fiscal year, and they spend the money in the new fiscal year.
Right. So this,
it's happening.
the fiscal year 25 expenses are really from the summer of 24.
Right.
Yeah. And this goes through 27.
it's probably just worth checking with Andrea, and if it's a typo, just get it. Okay.
No, he got it, Andrea.
Yeah, she said it's not a typo. They've
So
increased.
last year's was a typo.
No,
They increased it 100,000 because of the change in the programs.
Okay, so anybody can change it. We don't have to vote on a change.
Yes, that's why it's on the ballot. That's why it's on the warrant. We're voting to approve it.
Okay, I thought we were approving it as a mechanism that we approve every year, not that we are increasing it. That's my question. That
We
was my
approve the
question.
dollar amount every year, and it can change.
This is our chance to approve or disapprove it, I guess.
Got it, all right.
the cap and spending, but, so it sounds like the current fiscal year that we're in should have been more. And there's been an increase in programs offered, cost,
Yep.
and enrollment in summer camp and after-school program has gone up.
Yep.
So it was intentional to ask for 550 on
So
the
they could
spending
be in
cap.
trouble in fiscal year 26.
Maybe,
Whatever.
but, yeah,
They'll
Or
just have
tight.
to stop spending.
That should be looking to fund more.
Yeah, no, that's
I
fine.
can see the headline now. Yeah, $8 million.
Life-
All right,
lifeguards on strike.
Sorry to take us off mission here. I just thought that was something.
So we-
needed
I
Clarification.
think we're on board.
We get it now,
Got it now.
whether we like it or not.
We got.
Okay, I'm getting lots of piles here.
You're at Article 12.
Yeah, you made me go back a
Sorry.
page. Article 12 is 4.1 million for Tappan Street.
Make a
Okay.
recommendation that we suggest approval on.
You have a second?
you do?
Peter seconds. Any discussion?
I can't approve this. I wouldn't support it.
Okay,
That doesn't mean. I've been on record about it.
okay,
Car.
let's take a vote.
Yes,
Yes.
Lori, Peter, Sarah, Gar?
Yes,
Okay. So Finance Committee recommends. I don't know if you put the vote in or not. I don't think so.
No, I don't. This is.
Okay, the next is,
May I ask a question?
go ahead, Ann.
Would it be possible for the select board to change the order of these articles at our next meeting? So that,
Oh, it was supposed to be done before it came to us.
okay.
It's
My,
possible.
my reasoning is that Tappan Street could be delayed by a year without doing any significant damage. The PFAS has to get started as soon as possible.
Yeah.
The rotunda has to get done before it ends up on the beach. The dredging has to be done before the permits run out. So I would like to have the article that
That happened to be at the end.
happened to be at the end of the capital, so that in case the meeting gets tired of capital items, they take off something that is not of immediate importance.
So Tappan would become 15.
The one thing that is of immediate importance is the resurfacing of the road. So that's something that I've been saying, let's wait 15 years for the pipes and do the road now and wait for the big stuff.
That vote,
Another,
that
Yeah.
vote is not before town meeting.
no, I know. But that-
Okay.
That's just the mechanics.
There is money, I think, for road resurfacing
Yes, like,
elsewhere.
right, there is.
So what we were just saying is that Article 13 becomes 12, Article 14 becomes 13, Article 15 becomes 14, and Article 12 becomes 15.
Yep.
Okay,
And it is, the man was tapping for the AN, not the N.
Yes.
Okay, I corrected that before.
oh,
Good catch.
so we don't, that works fine for us either way. If the selectmen say, no, let's keep it the way it is or not,
just so
we don't
it's-
care.
it's clear
Yeah.
what we're making our recommendations on, because in some earlier years, we had problems because we just state the article number, and then they all change, and the question was, what did we approve? But now we're stating what we're doing.
In your report, you do list them in order in your report, so you might want to change.
We don't list them in order, but I could.
Sorry, I thought I had read that you did. Never mind.
I listed them in order of amount,
Okay,
I think.
So you go,
I have dredging, then I have rotunda, then I have Tappan, then I have Central Street, then I have the PFAS. I can switch the order to go with the warrant articles if you want, it's not a big deal.
I keep it, to keep the logic you have. That's
Save the
fine.
work.
That's fine.
Okay.
go for it.
All right.
That's a lot of cutting and pasting.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay, we're on to new 12, I think.
Yeah, we're on to the,
The 13.
Yes.
Because we've.
we're on to the 5 million for the Central Street
Yeah.
culvert.
Yeah.
Okay, and this one. We don't know, we have a brick grant that's due to expire April 30th, we don't know. We've requested an extension, we don't know if it would be extended. The NOAA grant was awarded and pulled, is that correct?
We have the NOAA grant in hand, if that's what you're at. What do you mean by and pulled? You mean taken away? No,
No,
no, it was not.
okay,
So you want to change that.
so why are we asking for 5 million?
That's the brick grant was 4.5,
5.
so we asked,
Already paid $1 million, which is 5.5, the NOAA is 1.5. Which is 6 point, I mean, I asked what the total Central Street culvert project was, and I was told 6 million,
Mhm.
so that's incorrect.
Yeah,
Is Chuck on? Chuck Dam?
Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so we still have the NOAA grant. I think the kind of where people get hung up is the culvert is the 5 million project we're asking for. The pond on top of that is the 1.5-ish which is kind of the NOAA grant is earmarked for just the pond work. So I'm not sure where you guys are drawing those lines, but we're trying to replace the brick grant with this bonding, as a backup to the MVP grant, which is a 5 million, and it's all just to cover the culvert, not the pond. Does that help, or does that make it more confusing?
So I guess I shouldn't mention the NOAA grant.
Probably not.
Right.
But then I'm trying to make these numbers make sense to people. And so I'm trying to give the total cost of the culvert. And then I said we've already paid $1 million, is that not correct?
We haven't paid $1 million for anything yet. Town meeting has appropriated probably close to $1 million, which we still have over half of that left, I think, or around half of that left. The other half has gone to the various design and permitting process. So, that it's true that the town has appropriated $1 million. We still have half of it. We've spent half of it on the design and permitting to get to where we are. The funding for the bonding and NOAA is construction related, not design and permitting.
But the culvert, if we're just trying to replace the brick grant, that's only 4.5 million.
I think we
We're
adjust,
asking for 5. And
Yeah, I think it's more
don't add up.
just rounding.
I think we adjusted up because it's 2 years later that we're gonna be doing.
Right. Just to cover, we don't want to ask for 4.5 and have it come in at 4.6 or 4.7.
How much contingency is in the 4.5?
I'd have to look back. I mean, it like you said, like Tony said, it's at least a 2-year-old estimate now. And we're kind of.
And again, hopefully we're not borrowing any of this. If we are, we're adjusting it downward for the true cost of the.
So the 5 million we're asking for and the 1 million prior appropriation comes to the 6.
And then you have a NOAA grant.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna include it.
Yeah. But if you were talking about like the total cost of the entirety of all the, it grows. When you lump in the town appropriation, the brick grant.
I'm trying to be consistent as to the numbers we're giving the public.
The
Yeah,
consistency
it can't
would be replacing the brick grant and adjusted for inflation, I think would be the consistent way to do it.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm giving the total cost of a project and then saying,
How it's raised.
right, so you're saying that we need an additional 5 million. So even if we get the brick grant, we need another $500,000.
Sure.
Which is why we're asking for 5. Right?
Yeah, if the cost of the project increases because it's behind schedule and we need the other 5, then yes. When this project is.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that, Tony. The problem we have is we keep throwing out different numbers. And I'm trying to I'm trying to give the residents a number that makes sense. And so they understand exactly what we're asking for.
Yeah, that's the approach we took with the MVP grant is we applied for close to 5 million, I believe it was 4.9 something. cause we had, anticipate the cost of the job to be increased by the time we actually get in the ground. Cause it's 2 years removed from the original cost estimate.
Okay, so the 5 million does not include the pond because we have the NOAA grant.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm gonna say the culvert is 6 million. We have prior appropriations of 1 million and we need 5 million if we lose the brick grant.
Mhm.
Exactly right.
Okay. That's the numbers we got.
Do you want to mention in your report that we've applied for 5 for
I
MVP
did
as a
that.
secondary backup?
I say 5 million regional grant applied for status unknown,
Yeah, great.
okay? And for the brick grant, I said it expires 4/30/2026. Extension request pending, status unclear. And then I'm saying,
That's perfect.
Which is a subtle way of saying,
town net to bond with no grants is 5 million,
Okay,
okay?
yeah.
Yep, right to me.
And that's what I'm trying to say with these, and for the link of the PFAs, I say town net to bond worst case is 16.5.
Yes, yep.
And are giving the two options.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Very succinctly.
Mhm.
Chuck can go into details. The meeting. Okay,
Oh, I think it's good.
so do we have a motion to recommend the 5 million for culvert,
so moved.
Central Street culvert?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion now that we're totally confused?
I'll try to be recommending this strike Article 13. 40 years of bridge engineering, I have to share my knowledge with the town, what a travesty this is.
Okay,
that's-
you have to
But-
be very careful
Mhm.
when you speak on town meeting floor that you're not speaking anything to do with the finance committee.
I agree.
Because
It's about the bridge,
yours
it's
is a
all technical.
personal opinion. And it's
Absolutely.
not appropriate for a member of the finance committee to get up and speak against something when the finance committee has voted for it unless they're doing it as a resident.
I would say pre-qualifying that this does not have any influence on my finance committee.
Okay.
That's fine.
Gar, where are you on the Central Street culvert?
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Next one is 1.9 million. Bridge. Boy, why is this worded this way?
Bond council is what, we got all this from bond council. What do you, which part, what do you,
Well, we're saying it's for dredging, and now you're saying, well, maybe not, maybe it's gonna include other things. That doesn't tell the town what we're spending money on. It says pay costs of capital improvements to Manchester Harbor, including but not limited to dredging. Well, this is supposed to be for dredging, not for other things.
yeah, I think it's just,
We can't recommend this wording. I can't recommend this wording.
we can get rid of, and we can say pay costs of. You want to just get rid of, but not limited to?
No, I want to
Say
include to
Manchester
pay the
Harbor.
costs of dredging.
Improvements to Manchester Harbor dredging.
To pay costs of Manchester Harbor dredging.
Yes.
To pay costs of
Where,
Manchester Harbor dredging.
Yes, Ann.
okay, so dredging includes bringing the equipment in.
Right.
And taking the spoil out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, fine, because I think of dredging as the process of removing the soil.
The following language is including the payment of all costs incidental and related thereto,
Okay,
so we would
fine,
cover that
good.
stuff.
Yeah,
So,
but the way this wording,
well, I understand your objection.
yeah, okay.
So does this get changed automatically, or does this go before the select board to get approved?
Yeah, select board will approve the warrant on Monday, so I'll make the change and
Right. So it's obviously pending this change,
I don't think, yeah,
but you don't anticipate any
No.
problem with that? We'll just do
No,
that. Okay,
no.
great.
So we vote to approve the 1.9 for dredging with that clause, including but not limited to stricken.
And we're gonna say the source is taxation
No.
or harbor.
It's not, it's a
Should be.
bond.
Right, but how are we gonna pay the bond? Through,
It's a debt exclusion. A debt exclusion override. Each one of these separate
okay,
capital
support it.
articles is a debt
You
exclusion.
can promise that the harbor would pay for it. If there's no guarantee of that, then
It's not being paid by waterway funds because there's not enough money in the waterway funds to pay for the dredging.
not yet.
And the plan is to dredge every 10 years. So they're accumulating the money to pay for the next round of dredging because they didn't start assessing the dredging fee early enough. Correct.
It's too few residents that benefit.
So we're voting to recommend approval.
Yes. With
And,
that clause with including but not limited to stricken.
So moved. You need a second?
Second?
Second. Any discussion?
We did.
Vote, Gar,
Yes,
Lori,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes, Dean,
No,
Dean votes no. Okay. Next item is $2 million for the rotunda. Do I have a motion to recommend this article for the rotunda?
Approval, so moved.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Any discussion?
should we give the amount that we've already paid and what the total is gonna be?
That doesn't go in the warrant.
Okay.
I have that in the report. I have that.
Right,
I have the total cost is 3.65 million, saying that the town and the CPA last year approved 1.3 million. And that this year the CPA approved 350,000. And that I say previously excluded grants are not available. Previously expected grants are not. Sorry.
Right out.
And so the town net, the bond is 2 million. Ready to vote?
We are.
Lori,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Gar,
yes,
Sarah votes yes, Dean,
yes.
Dean votes yes. Okay. Next item is Article 16, which is,
Oh, wait, you sure you're with the new numbers?
yep. Because I'm at snow and ice deficit.
Okay,
Because we already voted on 12, which is just gonna get renumbered, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a new reason.
okay, so 15,
Is
15 is the old 12.
15's tapping, correct.
okay,
Yeah, 12 becomes 15. So Article 16 is to transfer from available funds, which is free cash or fund balance, whatever we want to call it, 250,000 to pay for the snow and ice deficit this year.
And what do you call it in your material? Fund balance or free cash? Just to keep consistent terms.
I say fund balance throughout my thing.
So I suggest that say that
And
here, because I always find,
There is something that Andrea gave me, and there's one point where I put in parenthesis free cash.
okay, it's just because I think some.
I don't know which term the state uses.
I've always used free cash.
Yeah, me too. I don't know.
I think the state uses fund balance. Is that the problem?
I think they do.
Hmm.
Word free cash has a lot of connotations.
Greg didn't like the idea that cash was free.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's a fair point.
It's not.
So I've used fund balance throughout this except for one
I like
place.
the school's term. What's the school's terminology on that? It's,
E&D.
Do you think-
E&D.
E&D,
Get
right.
Excess
free
and-
cash and just flush fund.
Yeah.
That's what your report says.
Andrea wanted it in
I
some
think the
place.
selectmen's view of it's not free is a very good point.
So to triple the budget like that is, I'm curious how this 250 compares to like 2015. When we had that. The other high snow.
Well, so what I say in the report is I say that under financial highlights, is that where it is? Because somebody made me change it, asked
I
me
had
to
suggested
change
you
it.
put in the budget amount.
Which
that
is
was
what I
approved,
did.
And then we're 250 over, so people know that we're.
Right, I have a section for fiscal year 26 snow removal budget.
Right.
And in that I say, this year, the snow removal costs exceed the budget of 140,000 based on a 5-year average by 250,000. The state allows us to deficit spend this account and include the deficit in our fiscal year 27 budget, provided we encumber a portion of the fund balance equal to the amount of the deficit. Therefore, we recommend a $250,000 appropriation for fiscal year 26 from the fund balance to avoid a deficit in this account.
Did we use a lot of third-party vendors more, or, I mean, that's a lot.
A lot of snow, I
We had a lot of snow, but.
paid $6,000 personally, and last year I paid 2,200. So this
Dean,
is not out of line.
I can, having been on this committee long enough, there were times before COVID in 2019 where that number was 300 and 400 more.
Okay,
And if we had a lot of independent vendors, we had independent vendors doing half of Union Street, turning around by Crosby's, going the other way. It was crazy. And I remember we went to the select board at the time and said, what if we just plow half the streets within the first 30 hours or whatever? And we save like $150,000. So we've been up and down this hill a few times.
And I
Frankly, I think this number is pretty reasonable, given the amount of snow. I mean, it's
but
been
my number's wrong.
crazy in the past.
I've got to change it. The budget was 145.
Oh, it said 140?
Yeah, I'll change that in the report. But I think the problem this year was all of the little bits of stuff we got, and then very cold temperatures, so they had to salt a lot.
Sarah, I can speak to it a little bit if you guys want to
Thank
hear.
you. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, I mean, the bulk of that 250, I'll just say, is the snow removal. So remember, we had back-to-back storms where we had well over a foot of snow, and there's just no place for it to go in, 90% of our town. So the idea was we had to get rid of it. So that's where we spend a lot with third parties, and it has to go. And so that's a premium cost with premium equipment that we just don't have. So that's most of it, and then the rest of it is just what you guys said. I mean, it was a long winter, so that's all.
Thank you. And they do the snow removal mostly at night.
was our new loader able to help offset that third-party vendor?
Yeah, all of our equipment is out, but it's just there's no way you're getting that much snow removed in an overnight shift without many more pieces of equipment coming in.
Our front loader in DPW trucks has removed all the snow from Mascanoma Park parking lot.
Yeah,
That was done in-house.
but that shouldn't be part of this budget because it was so far after a snowstorm. I mean,
Right, it's not. That was done on hours. That was done on hours by our people. That's not
Yeah.
part of this number. This number is all
Okay. Okay,
from January, February, like really.
okay, no, that was something that was bothering me, whether it was part of the snow budget or not, but thank you, that helps.
Okay. So do we recommend this 250,000 from the undesignated fund balance / free cash?
Second.
Second. Gar,
Yes,
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
or Sarah votes yes. Okay. Article 17 is
This is a match,
160,
isn't it?
what?
This is the matching funds?
No, this is the 164,000 in connection with the bans dated 2025 that mature June 26, 26. And we
Oh.
need to raise the money to pay the interest on the notes that's due June 26, 26. So this is fiscal year 26, which is why it's a separate article.
It's
And is being taken out of the water enterprise retained earnings.
So that's where it's coming.
Yes,
And this is bonds for what? Is this the 7.5 million bond that we already approved?
yeah, it would have to be.
So by approving that bond, we didn't approve the interest for it, right?
Well, what happens is we approve the bond. And then every year, the repayments are in the debt service section.
Right,
So every year, we're approving the actual repayments on those bonds we appropriated. The only reason we're voting on the bond is to authorize the town to spend that much money. But then to repay it, it's just like on the school budget.
right.
Every year, we're voting to repay those school loans.
I would recommend maybe identifying what the costs are rather than just outstanding bond notes. Maybe we say what the work was. It might be easier for voters to approve. Just a suggestion. I don't know if there's too many of them.
So what you're asking is what it was used for?
Yes.
What it was used for?
Rather than say something vague like bond notes, let's say what projects the bonds funded.
So, wait a minute. I think this is the water meters.
Okay, then we should identify it as such.
Is that correct, Chuck? This money's coming out of the water enterprise fund, so isn't this to pay those, we issued the
Yeah.
bans in anticipation of receiving the water meter fees in, so now we're authorizing spending those water meter fees.
Yes, I believe that's the case. I believe we're taking money from the enterprise account to pay down the bonds that we built, that we.
So we don't
brought-
have to
brought
reissue
in
them.
From the capital fees or
Right,
the rates.
so can we put in someplace here new water meters?
Yeah, just say maturing June 26 for the use of, or for the purchase of, or whatever you want to say.
I don't know if I would put it in the warrant language, but we could put something underneath the warrant language that explains.
We don't want more legal fees, but having them look at the damn warrant.
Well, the warrant language is very,
Right,
Precise.
you know, we can add some language underneath that's not part of the
Such
actual
funds were used-
article.
such funds
that
were used
gives you
for
that
blah, blah, blah,
explanation.
blah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine. I think it's a good suggestion. That's what
we were so anxious to conserve water.
So the total in this article,
and do we know what the?
the total is the 271 plus the 164. So we're paying the 164 from the fund balance. And we're paying the 271 for the principal on the
Principal.
notes
Mhm.
from the water meter fees.
Interesting, it's called.
To pay down and because the plan was to use the water meter fees to pay for those water meters, so she's been using bans to avoid the long-term debt. So the hope is that we will have expended all the water meter fees by the end of the project and never have to enter into long-term debt. Because you have 3 years to do it before you have to start paying principal. And we're paying the water meter fees for 3 years.
So who's gonna explain that on town meeting floor? That's
I-
your
I think
job,
that's
right?
exciting.
That'll be me.
mean-
Be ready to go.
Yeah,
Do we want to use the word available funds there, or is it fund balances?
they always use available funds in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it, but
I know.
but it's a transfer from available funds, which means it's not taxation.
I understand that.
The,
I
the
just was
motion,
asking
the
simple
motion will be specific.
Well, it,
Motion
And
will
we'll use what
specifically
term?
say where it's coming from.
Mhm.
Yeah, the warrant article, council always advises that the warrant article include all possible funding sources, and then the motion is very specific.
Yeah, mine was just a technical term. That we're gonna use fund balance, free cash.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Do I have a motion to approve this?
So we're happy with this? So I approve it.
You make the motion, do you second it, Lori?
I was gonna suggest we list the total amount funding sources consisting of,
The total of the two numbers.
so total of two numbers. For the purpose of water meter
I think,
consisting of these two payment.
I think the reason it's separate is because this 164 of interest was inadvertently not included in the fiscal year 26
Mhm.
All right,
26 budget.
then I'd say leave it as it is.
Whereas the principal was expected to pay down the principal every year.
Okay.
But I think that's what she said, is this 164 was erroneously not included in last year's budget. It should have been. And
If a hand or two comes up, the recommendation will be town administrator handle this one.
If this was a 26 bill, does it require
It's not a 26 bill.
okay,
It's an appropriation to pay interest on debt service,
From 26.
From 26.
when
which
is
is
it?
different than a bill.
Okay, when
A
is it?
bill is from a third-party source.
Ah, okay, thank you. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
So I would second whatever's been,
I
This writing.
simply move that we adopt a recommendation of approval on this article.
okay.
Don't.
And I can't wait for Tony's explanations, that's all.
The reason.
Tony's gonna do a fabulous job.
Listen.
Have your popcorn ready.
Bar,
Yes,
Lori,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. Oh, next is 250,000 for the ADA compliant bathroom at the library, which is a capital expenditure exclusion.
So this is
If
excluded.
you saw the cricket today, the excitement is profound.
I tried. It didn't jump off the page.
It was really good. I thought it was a first-class job.
So do we have a motion to approve this article of 250?
I move we approve the 250,000 for the ADA bathroom for the library.
Thank you, God. Do I have a
Gar
second?
takes the easy ones, oh boy.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Peter seconds. Any discussion? Vote, Gar,
Yes,
Lori,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. Next is CPC funding in the amount of 594,200. I believe we have previously approved this.
Just one thing on this, the bathroom. I thought because we had previously obligated it and then de-obligated it, went to free cash, that we were gonna fund this through free cash.
We spent it on other things.
That was, that money was,
Yeah, we did put it into free cash, but once it becomes free cash, it can be spent on anything.
Right.
So we didn't earmark it. If we hadn't released it, it would have still been earmarked,
Right.
but
Well, it was-
we wanted to use it.
I looked at, the motion was contingent upon getting the grant. It was supposed to be the match to the grant.
Right,
But it
okay,
Didn't get, so then it kind of had to fall to free
Right.
cash.
we were irritated because they hadn't spent it for so many years. When we hit the money center. Okay, so do I have a recommendation to approve this?
We already did.
Yeah. This said we recommended it, so we're good. Okay. Next is a zoning article. Town Center and Harbor's Edge District. I would suggest we take no position. we never have taken a position on zoning articles because zoning articles are merely what one might be able to do, not any type of actual project, so there's no real financial consequences until something happens.
Agreed.
Doesn't change tax implications for anybody.
No,
Do I have a
Take no-
motion for no position?
Yes.
Second? I'll
Second.
Yeah,
Vote, Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
yes.
Sarah votes yes. Next is the zoning article on senior housing. Now I'll make,
I move we take no position.
thank you. Second? I can second.
Second, yeah.
Okay, Dean can second. Okay, vote, Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
and Sarah votes yes.
You're right, Peter. I'm taking the easy ones.
Next is a zoning bylaw on inns.
I vote we take no position.
Thank you, Gar.
Boy, that's a great car.
I'll second. Take a vote, Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
and Sarah votes yes. Next is ADUs. A change to allow, I think this is the change to allow ADUs in D1 and D2. Large ADUs. I requested the change because we had come before the ZBA and we couldn't. We couldn't approve it because we can't give a use variance, and this was the use.
I move we take no position.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Second.
Second.
Vote, Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. The next is general bylaw driveway entrances. I make a motion, we take no position.
Second.
Okay, vote, Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes.
Sarah, what does this do to the driveway entrances? Do you know? what
I
that-
believe it is putting it in the responsibility of the DPW.
Okay, that's what I think you said before.
It was in the zoning bylaw. We took it out of the zoning bylaw to a general bylaw. And we had the first pass the responsibility of TPW. But if they didn't meet all these stringent conditions, then it had to go to the planning board. And it was problematic.
It's a procedure process.
So this is basically saying DPW is in charge. Isn't that right, Chuck?
he's not on, but
Oh, he left.
I'm looking at it. Yes, it,
See, now we're going to support convey. Convey it first.
Okay,
this bylaw shall be enforced by the Director of Public Works.
Yeah.
There's a few other changes in there, but I think that's practically.
it's still a
what's been
zoning
going on.
article that we
Yeah.
wouldn't take a position on.
It's a general bylaw, but
Right.
yeah, same.
Oh,
same
right,
idea.
sorry, exactly. We don't do drivers.
Mhm.
The next is the transfer of the 914 square foot property, which we discussed before.
I did get I had the assessor do an estimated value.
Yeah,
Looking at other listings, similar to, undevelopable land. The land average was 93 cents per square foot. Also looked at paired sales, and concluded the additive value of an additional square footage to be $1.31. Given these, I would estimate the subject lot to be $1 a square foot, or about $914. Now, if approved, usually there's an appraisal
right.
paid for by the person making the request, and then that helps the select board dictate what the minimum value for the procurement process is.
We don't need this for a sign anywhere or anything.
No, and we will, and part of that value is because we're gonna retain access rights for maintenance purposes.
No.
Yep.
To maintain the channel or the.
Yeah, where there
Wall.
is a wall along the brook there that we wanna make sure we can access.
Do I have a motion? We take no position?
Yes.
Second,
Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. The next one is a citizen's petition for establish a study committee to examine the feasibility and effects of adopting ranked choice voting. I make a motion to take no position.
Second,
Maury seconds. Vote. Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. The next citizen's petition is recommendation to take 4 parcels of land and move them to a different zoning district. I make a motion to take no position.
I agree.
Second.
Vote. Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. And then there is another citizen's petition, which is a resolution in support of the US Constitution. I make a motion, we take no position. Do I have a second?
That seems controversial in and of itself.
Take a vote. Gar,
Yes.
Maury,
Yes.
Peter,
I agree, yes.
Dean,
Yes.
Sarah votes yes. The final one is
Town meeting floor.
we make it on town meeting floor. And just so people remember what this is the article where if somebody in town amends an article which increases the cost to the town, that would put us into a Prop 2.5 override situation, we have the right to have that discrepancy paid from free cash.
Do we have the free cash to pay for it? I know it depends on the amount,
Depends.
but even, I mean, we are right on the
Well,
buffer.
No,
We can go to 5% if we wanted, but we want to stay at 8, that's our.
Yeah.
I know you said it's 8.7 was our reserve.
but we can spend, we can pull it down under 8% to avoid
Okay,
an override that hasn't been,
okay.
I mean, we've got,
Well, you said it's 8.7 is the, I believe the,
yeah, but we've got a total of 4 million in the fund balance and stabilization. I can't believe anybody would bring something before town meeting that exceeded 4 million.
right, I was asking a simpler question.
But if hypothetically, let's say the PFAS bid comes in more
That
than.
This doesn't cover the
16.5,
PFAS bid, no.
But
This
if it
is,
did, could you supplement
no,
that with this?
no.
Like if
This
it came in
is-
at 17,
No, this is only if at town meeting, somebody raises an appropriation that would put us into an override.
I think he's asking a different question though.
let's say.
Separate
bid-
from town
Let's say,
meeting.
let's say bid comes in at 17 million. We don't have to go
Not
through
in
this.
town
I was
meeting.
just,
Because it's not, we're only appropriating the 16.5.
right, but we could
Supplement.
add another 500 into another article and then use this article to pull it from the stabilization or free cash if we had to, instead of trying to adjust the amount that we're debt excluding.
You want to do that, when are the bids coming in?
2 weeks before.
There's no way we want to do that. You'd have to wait till special town meeting and do a second appropriation.
Right,
I'm just asking.
and if we were to do that, could you supplement, or do you need to go back and just cleanly vote for new bonds?
You could amend on the town meeting floor, you could amend
Right,
the bond article to increase the amount of the bond, because that would
There.
impact
there's the
the
answer.
fiscal year 27 budget.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah, the problem is that the ballot question is fixed at that point.
Right, so you,
And honestly, Sarah, this is not the process that we're looking for here.
Right. Exactly.
Right, no.
they just, if the bids come in too high, we have to start over.
Hopefully they don't.
But we've never gone back on. I mean, yeah. Town
This
meeting
isn't, this,
with additional money at an additional separate town meeting.
Yeah.
so I move we do not support this motion or this,
No. We have to wait till we're on town meeting floor.
And it's
all right.
usually just bypass it or
Yes,
take
yes.
no action because there's no action needed on it.
Good,
It's just kind of there
good.
as a
Sorry.
placeholder
Yep,
in case we
I
need it.
I withdraw my, whatever I said.
It's my understanding that we have used all of the Prop 2.5 money and all of the excess levy capacity. So if somebody changed a warrant or an article and increased it by $500, we would want to be able to pay the $500 out of the fund balance to avoid a $500 override.
Say they increase the FinCom chair's salary.
Right.
Right.
So that's the purpose of it. And we did have to use it one year,
Right, we have had to do it.
but not for a long, long time.
So Sarah, on a lighter note, maybe just a senior moment here, the top of the report you've put together says 2025 annual report.
Right.
Is it 25 looking back or is it 26?
Thank you.
Okay.
26
Just
report.
didn't want to get it on town meeting.
25.
Believe me, I've done what you're doing and you copy and paste from prior years. It's
Thank
very
you.
easy to roll things through.
Yeah, there was something else I thought that had been incorrect in last year's with some date. Yeah. I said, I guess nobody noticed it. Okay, so now we move to the FinCom annual report. I've incorporated all of the recommendations except for Dean's because they came too late for me to incorporate.
There were a lot of just comments. It wasn't like,
Okay,
accept changes type thing. We can discuss them.
I'll take a look at them, but one of the things that I highlighted under the 27 budget overview, the second paragraph, which says, and design and construction documents for the senior/community center. Do we want to delete that clause because we have not made any recommendation, because we're not gonna make a recommendation until town meeting floor? And if
Sorry,
it
sir.
doesn't close before town meeting,
It's here, it's in yellow and it's about 2/3 way down the first page.
it would be the one we sent out.
Yeah.
I sent out in the afternoon.
I would recommend we strike construction just because I know they're for the construction, but usually if you just say design, that means it's not gonna fund construction.
No, it says design and construction document.
I know, it's just a little,
Well, we've already approved design documents last year for
well,
50 grand.
right, well, that was a conceptual design. This is for final design.
Just put a clause in front of it saying, subject to
Okay.
something, but or is it too complicated? I think it needs to be adjusted because we're not yet.
I'd leave it out.
That's what I'm
I'm
thinking.
just going back to Gar's comment, I mean, we've rolled through this for 2 years. It'd be great to have approval and be able to add it in, but I'd leave it out.
And this isn't really a large capital project.
You're right.
Correct.
It's not like the other ones that are asking for exclusions. All the other ones are asking for a debt exclusion or the library is the cash capital exclusion. Okay, we'll leave this in. I added. I had under financial highlights, some things in parentheses next to the 11% town increase. And I've taken those out and instead I added a paragraph just under where this yellow highlight was. That said the increase in the operating budget is impacted by health insurance, legal expenses, state pension retirement plan contribution, a new trash collection contract, snow removal, fully pre-funding the OPEB unfunded liability and additional staff. And then I go into the new staff. I thought that just kind of dealt with, I have to meet with Andrea to get at this 11% number. I personally was shocked when I calculated it.
Well, they put everything in the excludable bond.
No, that doesn't
That's the trick.
include the,
Well, that's accounting.
it's not,
That's just, yeah, that's staff.
that's the operating budget went up 11%.
Operating.
Insurance, there you go.
I was surprised when I read that.
Yes.
I thought it was a typo and
I was shocked and then I looked because
I mean, we're not adding,
unfortunately, and it frustrated me because unfortunately, this report didn't give us the percentages. So it was when I went to sit down to do this report and I said, oh, yeah. That the operating budget is increasing 11%.
Well, I totaled all your,
Sorry, go ahead, Dean.
I was gonna say that I totaled all the, approximate annual costs from the bonds and came up with it's about a 6% increase. Oh, it was the whole budget. So we have the 2% in operating and then 6% from this exclusion.
No, we have the health insurance that came in at the 15%.
That's part of the 2%.
No,
The overall budget, the tax rate, it's going up 2%, but then outside of the tax,
no,
Is-
the debt service, the debt exclusion is included in the tax rate. It's in the two in it because it's part of
This year.
debt service.
but we don't,
For fiscal year 27, she has included the cost of bond anticipation notes for all of these capital projects. Plus, she assumed that the dredging would have a long-term bond within fiscal year 27.
she
But our
mentioned
debt
10-year.
service includes interest on the bands of all of these capital projects. So it's not in addition to this.
Okay,
It's included in this number.
then why is
Okay.
it excluded from the budget? Why is it an exclusion?
It's an authorization for the town to go out and issue long-term bonds. Because once the long-term bonds are issued, they're gonna be outside of Proposition 2.5.
Right.
So you have to authorize the debt exclusion before you bid on the project.
You just say once more for me. So the increase in the operating budget is the sum of all these things listed.
Those are the things that are
all make up.
outside the normal increases.
Okay, that's the key word, normal.
So the
increases.
OPEB is 420,000.
Mhm.
That is, 1% is about 390,000.
Mhm.
So that's over 1%.
The key is you said normal.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is how we still fit within the Proposition 2.5% guidelines.
Even though we had some excesses.
With the town budget going up. I know that we decreased the cash capital exclusion from 660 down to 250.
And you don't include the school, I gather. The operating budget is
Well, the school
impacted by,
was the 3.33.
right, but I don't see it listed. It says health insurance.
I'm talking town operating budget. Do I need to add in town?
The word town would be important.
Should we have our auditors check Andrea's spreadsheet before?
No, I think, I just have to sit down and look at the numbers
I know, yeah.
and figure it out. Because and I need to get from Andrea something updated, because I don't have the final numbers yet.
I was surprised at that earlier, Sarah. I looked at this early this morning and I went back to our budget book that we got, the most recent. And on page 5, it lists expenditures for everything, government, public safety, public works, human services, all the way down the list. And
But it includes the pool.
it includes the school, it's true, but in 26, the budgeted number was 44,088,257. And the recommended this year is 44,140,000. And
Yeah, but it
even if.
includes the capital. And the the difference is in the capital when you see that number. Because the capital expenditure has decreased by $1,153,000. So that's now in,
I was just pulling the school out of the equation.
That's
calling
now in
capital.
the operating
That's not
budget.
correct. Yeah, okay, I see.
I think the big thing was when we didn't have the 660,000 capital annual exclusion that we've been using. Because that would have not, so that would allow.
that's just a little bit over 1%. So what I have to do is sit down and figure out how this all fits within the 2.5%.
Right.
I mean, and I think so if the capital dropped 1.1 million, we're only using, I gotta look at the taxation of the capital between the 2 years. And I think that's what the difference is.
Wouldn't it be this estimated expenditure number minus capital and minus
No,
school
I-
for both 26 and 27 and then compare the delta?
No, what I'm reacting to is the operating budget went up 11%, but the overall tax rate is going up 2%.
Yes, I understand.
This is gonna sound stupid, but how much has the assessment base gone up during
That
that
doesn't
period?
impact this because the estimated tax rate is based on last year's assessment.
And what about last year and the year before?
Right.
No, that doesn't impact any of these calculations, Gar.
Okay,
What we're calculating is the increase in the dollars spent in the budget as a percentage of the prior year dollars spent.
With that calculation.
And the town operating budget increased 11%.
And to derive that
So
number,
the capital expenditure through taxation had to decline in order to get within Proposition 2.5. The portion of
I
capital
understand your point, yes.
paid from taxation.
So that's,
Did, right?
that's why
Yeah.
Maurice
Yeah.
says doesn't work.
You had 660,000 in capital exclusion last year.
That's only 1%. It's not the capital exclusion. It's the portion of the capital budget paid from taxation.
Right.
Last year,
Right.
we used over $1 million from the fund balance.
Right.
This year, we were using 225.
And that's
So I think that when you start adding all that together, that explains
why you get such a high percentage.
what a high percentage in.
How you can
It's
afford
To be-
Most
How you
of
can
the,
support a high percentage in operating because you're
Right.
spending much less in capital.
Yeah.
So 11%
That's a big
growth in dollars, how does that compare to 2%?
No, the 2% is calculated based on dollars too, Tony.
No, but I mean, 2% growth of the tax rate compared to 11% growth in the general fund, is that what you're?
No. So our total tax rate is going up 2%.
Which equals 1 point, what'd you say it was about 600, 1% is
2%, it's about 800,000.
800.
But our operating budget is increasing 11%. Which means that we have a negative percent from taxation going to the capital.
Right, because we put it.
Plus that 1% from the decrease in the capital exclusion.
And my question.
And also, I think there's also an increase in the revenue assumption. I think Andrea said something about an increase in the revenue
A
assumption.
little bit, yeah, because we're doing,
My
bags
question is,
and.
does that need, suppose it gets recalculated, confirmed and all the rest, and Ryan's a big number. That needs a paragraph.
Well, or I need to
Because
speak
it's
to it,
mostly technical issues.
or it needs, I think it's something I need to speak to at town meeting.
Ah. Okay,
People are gonna see this 11%.
I know, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
I mean, we know that the health insurance went up 15. But it's the difference between the 2% tax increase and seeing an 11% increase in the operating.
I still have to ask the question, how much have our tax revenues increased?
We're not, Gar, we're not talking about actual revenues. We're talking about an estimate based on what we're spending in fiscal year 27 against the current assessed value that we used in
Okay.
26, because we don't know the 27 assessed values. So the the tax rate in so it's 2%. It's 2% of the, it's $800,000 increase in taxation for fiscal year 27. But we're bonding, we've got capital with bonding. Our capital is down.
Can I toss out something here, Sarah, that might be
Yeah.
helpful?
Yeah.
So if we look on our budget book, page 5, it summarizes expenditures.
Right.
I added up general government, public safety, public works, other environmental, human services, library, parks and rec. I stopped there, I did not add debt and everything else.
Well,
Just
you
those,
gotta add debt, because that's in the operating.
right, okay, so we can add debt and the delta there is gonna make this even different, but
Okay.
I came up in 26 with $15,103,918.
Yeah.
And then in 26 or 27, our TA recommended budget, it totals $16,573,685. Those two differ right there by 9.7%. And I think you're right. If we add the debt in there, it was 871,133 last year. And the recommendation this year is
300,000
300,000.
more, yeah, which is another 1%.
Yeah, I mean, the amount, the budgeted amount was 871 and the recommended amount this year is 1,171,000. That is gonna bring us up to about 11%.
Yeah.
So so when you look at that budget book and you pick up the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 line items, that pretty much gets you to the 11% we're talking about.
But wait a minute. Wait a minute, I think there's a flaw in the number. What's it? No, I wonder if I took the 11% from general government.
Oh,
That's
so
always
I can just
zero.
tell you right now what the general government delta is.
It's
It's
11.09, that's what it says on page 5.
right, right.
I bet I took it from general government. So Andrea has to give me what the total percentage increase is in the town operating budget for this year.
That wouldn't, it's page 5, but it's page 5 if you don't include enterprise, school, the 3 school, capital improvements, CPA.
I don't want to do that calculation. I want Andrea to give me,
I know, I'm just asking if that's,
it's the operating budget.
Yep.
Which is. It's Article 4. Right? It's Article 4 in the warrant, is the operating budget. She didn't react to it.
which. Hmm,
So the operating budget so Article 4. Last year. Was 17,767.
yeah, it shows it there, last year's number.
And then what's it this year?
19,600, 223.
So is that 11%?
But some of those, so
Yeah.
the funding source
You know,
matter there in that number, because some of it is.
No, we're
No,
talking operating budget.
expense.
We're talking operating budget.
Okay, yeah.
so Sarah, I just ran that again and I added in debt service for both years. And it comes up to 11.1%. And there are definitely some big drivers here. The big general government is up 11%. Public Works is up 11.5%. And debt service is up 34%.
It's a $1.8 million increase.
Yeah.
So
So-
almost half of that is trash and health insurance.
Yeah, that's okay.
Just have to explain.
But you have to explain why taxes are only going up 2%.
Yep.
And I think some of it's coming from revenue assumptions.
Right.
And some is coming because we're not spending as much taxation on capital.
But, usually we underestimate revenues and overestimate costs. But the overestimating of costs here at 11% means the revenue has got to be really optimistic, I'm guessing.
Well, we increased inspectional fees to cover the added position. And we increase, well, we haven't yet, but the proposal is to increase that and bag fees.
Yep.
To cover some of the increased costs on the trash.
Right.
Well, I'll have
Can you
to,
pull anything in?
I'll have
like
to pull up
CSV?
last year's estimated. I don't have any information here as to what the
Seems fine.
tax rate
Still,
calculation.
that doesn't cover everything.
Yeah. it's
What?
big.
The 11 time.
No, I'm just, if
You also have,
estimated
one-
expenses have gone up $1 million.
you have another, in the fire department. Growth and staff there, we're covered
That's
one
one, but
quarter.
safe for, right? And that's only 3/4. We're only
We're
paying a
covered a
quarter,
quarter. Yep.
which is minimal. Healthcare must be the big driver.
It's 270,000.
Everything up.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how we got to this 11% on expenditures. I mean, it's like,
Bigger question,
it's
why is it
like
only 2%?
paper
The
cuts,
school
but
went up 3.5 and.
I just feel like through the whole budget
This went up
season,
11, so how do we come up
we've
with
been coming across stuff.
maybe it's 20?
He's not including
prior years.
No, but
It's
the
just-
school is included in the 2% increase in tax rate. So
I mean, really,
Yes.
it was
So
Well, that's the budget.
fire department, trash and health insurance.
And you've been saying that all along, or at least trash and health insurance.
I'm not including the position inspectional services because it's covered by the fee
Yeah.
increase,
And
but
OPEB for the difference between last year's spending.
we are putting more towards OPEB this year.
The
Then we
OPEB
have
is
the
out of
4.
taxation.
420
Yes,
versus
yes.
360 in years past.
The debt service,
That's the interest on the bands for those 5 new projects. That's why it went
so
up
that's
so
a,
much.
that's a big.
It went
chunk.
up,
That's,
it's 1% on the tax, almost 1% on the tax.
so that tells you, that's a lot right there. Well, when I first of all had not included debt service, we were at 9.7%, just looking at the 5 items above it. 6 items above it. But general government is a big one. As is public works.
I think that's where you're.
Public
General
works is
government's
probably
all-
trash.
Well, it's the state retirement contribution is 11%.
Leave it as one. The other ones are.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Thousands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 300,000 almost exactly in public works, which is probably trash.
Yeah, trash was, I think, 280,
Right.
something like that.
It is. As a matter of fact, in public works, the increase, trash is more than everything else combined that increased, but you had a decrease in disposal costs.
Right.
So the overall cost went up even more than what trash went up.
Yeah, trash was 280, 41% increase. over
Trash is
last
up.
year.
So my question is, what's the best way to explain it? That's my.
So last year from taxation, we spent 1.8 million for capital.
Okay, from taxation, okay?
Well, this year we're spending 1.3, so it's only 500,000 difference.
No, I think it's about 300,000. You're
What?
right. Debt service last year was
I'm not
807.
talking debt service. I'm talking
Article 5.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
taxation, payment of taxation for capital. Which is a difference of 500. I don't know. I gotta sit down and do these, but it's driving me crazy when I saw that 11% number.
Well, if you
I said,
want-
"What is he doing?"
Write this up and want to check it tomorrow. Shoot me a copy.
I
I'll look
gotta
at this
get with,
tonight.
I mean, I've gotta talk to Andrea.
Should we have another meeting to
No. What are we gonna discuss in the meeting?
the percentage?
This is a roll up of all our meetings through the year,
Yeah.
you know, and as I was just saying, I don't remember any.
It's just an there's no question, these numbers are right,
Yeah.
okay? There's no
How does it-
question.
How do you explain it?
There's an
Yeah.
11% increase in the operating budget.
Right.
The question is why are our taxes only going up 2%?
Well, I think you
Right.
just explained most of it,
And it's just a matter of,
explaining it.
We're
I'm still
excluding it.
wondering how they, because that explanation. is a fairly sophisticated piece of information.
and I noticed it and
When you're,
I went into shock when I saw it, and then I kept rolling on the report, and I didn't touch base with Andrea in it.
when you're calculating the 2% increase, you're comparing last year,
Tax rate.
which includes last year's capital exclusion.
No,
It does not.
Good.
because, oh, wait a minute, let me look. Yes, it does.
And then, so are you comparing it to? Does this year's number include the potential capital exclusion? Of 225,
250 position.
250?
Yes. That's included in getting to the 2% increase.
So that's bringing. That's bringing it down.
But only 400,000, only
Yeah.
1%.
Yep.
I guess the question is what's the dollar amount change in the general?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Just, I like way down at the very bottom, if you add up everything, it's 44,888,000 last year. That's school, everything, the whole nut. And this year it's 44,140,000, which is not that big a change.
Right.
When you look at the big thing,
Right,
when you pull out the subsection of the 7 items that make our operating, they're all increasing quickly, but other things are, as a
Decrease.
percentage of the overall picture, that's not as big as the whole, as the school, which is level, kind of, pretty level. And,
Right. The school is level
and our regular capital is less,
by 500,000.
well.
Is
so-
more, is less this year in taxation by 500,000.
Correct, but I'm just adding up, I mean, last year we were at 3.55 million, and this year the recommendation is 2.4 million. So we've actually pulled effectively $1 million out of capital on an operating like year-to-year basis, roads, street, not the big stuff that we're special articling on.
Yeah, but you're not including the payment on those debt
Correct,
exclusion articles in your tax rate.
right.
So the issue is what you're including in your tax rate.
Right. I mean, warrant articles went down. 2026, the warrant articles were around 990,000. Now they're down to 421, so that's 500 off there. So when you start looking at the whole picture, a bunch of these things are lower than town operating.
Yeah, and that's what I have
And
to,
that's
That's what I-
that's sort of
yeah.
your answer is, it's just like some things are
Right.
growing and a bunch of other stuff is sort of.
The one thing we need to cut to pay our interest bills is operating costs.
Well, I think
Well, I've been
our
saying it's a portion of the picture.
capital is what. Our annual cap, this is what I said this a few,
Right, you did.
it's the annual capital that suffers at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna continue.
Right.
but, okay, well,
We were talking about the annual report. I
mhm,
think it's good, the way you've written it. I think I noticed you have put in a little bit of information about a forward look. Because, you know, we're asking the voters to approve 30 million in capital. And this
right,
is not, this
expand on
is
that.
not gonna be the first time. We've got maybe Essex Elementary coming up in the fall. And then I'm sure in the next 5 years, there's gonna be another Tappan Street and there's gonna be another,
Bennett Street.
yeah.
So I
is
changed
like-
the first paragraph and looking ahead to fiscal year 28 in the final report
Mhm.
to better.
Yeah.
And I added in the new Essex Elementary School, which hadn't been in there.
Yeah.
So basically saying we feel we can pretty much stay within 2.5 if the things outside our control don't create a problem, but for a 5-year capital plan demonstrates the need for future debt exclusion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then listed the stuff,
Right.
Start of the capital.
right?
Sorry,
Yes.
when you've talked, would you come to the select board on Monday after you talk to Andrea and explain this to us?
Sure,
I can do
Sure.
that.
A lot of assumptions going in on that.
yeah, I can do that,
I,
because it's gonna be, people are gonna ask.
I understand,
good
Tony, that you
practice
know all of this, and it's
explanation,
good, and
too.
you could explain it just fine, but I'd like to hear the chair of finance committee.
I'll look at it tomorrow. I'll send, if I can't resolve it, I'll send Andrea an email, I'm sure. She'll respond to an email tomorrow, won't she?
Oh, yeah.
She's pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
I'm gonna be doing math all night now. This is good. I have to solve this puzzle.
I just didn't
I won't
need
sleep.
to spend on it.
Yeah.
And it just, if I were a taxpayer, I would say, how can we increase the budget by 11% and my taxes are only going up by 2%?
But this is not unique. This happens a lot. This happens like every year. There's something that jumps up really, really high. And it compared to the
Well-
prior year, it doesn't work. And then when you look at the overall picture, it's pretty consistent.
Is that true, Howard, because we're moving so much more to where we fund capital from? I mean, there are many.
And we're using up the full.
It's like some years the school's
the
gone up
levy
a big amount.
Capacity
Right, but
coming,
that-
and that's because of the cash capital exclusion. So because we dropped the cash capital exclusion by over 1% of the taxes. If we hadn't done that, the tax rate would have been the tax rate increase would have been over 3%. So that impacted the tax rate
Sure.
increase, which is why it's lower than 2.5 plus the excess levy
But-
capacity.
But
Because
like,
I did ask that
you know,
question.
like 3 years ago, we had a town increase of like 1.7%. But we had a school increase of like 3.7%.
Right,
And it just kind of, it's
Yeah.
always a surprise when you roll everything up and it's.
agree that 11% is
I
a big
agree, it's
increase.
very high.
And then any resident who reads that in this book.
Right.
Is gonna say, my God, why are we increasing 11% and why are my taxes only increasing 2%?
Exactly. And as we've gone
And they
through
may
this
not
whole
get that
budget
far, they may
year,
just say 11%, not focusing on what you've gone to the next step.
Right.
So
That's what I just wanna be able to
explain.
Right.
Yeah.
explain it.
And you think the best is to explain it as opposed to write anything further in?
Well, I'll see if I can figure it out tomorrow to put it in the report.
Because I think it needs to be in both places.
I agree. But
Because it's a fairly complicated thing to
it's just
do in here.
unfortunate that this
Does the,
this
Does-
budget thing doesn't give us clear numbers.
right,
I hate having to add everything up.
Andrea will give you the answer in
does
Thursday.
does the transfer of funds from enterprise to pay off some of that debt weigh into that a little bit? Cause that's not tax money that's going in
You're
towards.
talking about the warrant article or the 161?
Yeah, we're
Saying
moving,
164?
I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it
But it's
might
164.
factor in a little bit, right? Cause you're,
but the debt service went up a chunk, that's probably,
300,000.
that's a contributor.
300,000.
It all adds, it's just all there, and you're, you know,
It's just that we're adding additional dollars in the operating budget. So therefore, we have to be offsetting those
Capital.
increase in dollars to the operating from other articles.
We're kicking more capital to
And
exclude.
that doesn't impact it.
So I think to your
That's not
point, Sarah, it'd
impacting
be
the
good
tax
next year to
rate.
have percentages in this report.
Yeah,
Because going through, I've been always looking for things that have huge jumps, and I don't feel like we had oh my gosh, this is way outside what we've done in the past. I don't feel we've had any of those moments. And the 11% is a little surprising here.
right.
well.
I want the agenda.
and she has percentage. In the notes on the right side, like if you go department by department.
Right.
Yeah, but not the total.
No, I know, but to Maury's point of like, when we were going through department by department, a percentage didn't stand out to you, right? Is that what you?
No, I paid attention to that. It's a discrepancy between the tax increase and the increase in the operating budget. And part of it is because an increase in the operating budget is not synonymous with a tax increase.
Which would explain
And
why
that's-
nothing jumped out during the
Exactly.
process.
That's right. It's all kind of,
Yeah.
Right, so I just have to look at that.
otherwise, I think the report you've written, Sarah, is good, strong. Thank you for
Thank you.
carrying heavy rocks on that one.
Okay, so I guess the only other item on the agenda, which has vanished in my
Oh,
piles
the
of.
next thing is, I'm gonna
minutes.
say town administrator and finance directors updates.
Do you have anything, Tony?
We told it to him in space.
That's a general question. Can you narrow it down?
Well, we got an update on the
Okay,
senior center.
so, yeah, we already, so minutes.
Yep. I
Did
looked
people
at
have a
it.
chance to look at the minutes?
Yeah, she
Minutes
made an
look fine
adjustment
to
that I
me.
requested.
The only minor comment was the meeting to adjourn. John Croft abstained from that, but in the vote to approve minutes where he wasn't present, it said unanimous. So I think our AI machine is flipping mildly. It's a detail.
Okay,
I thought the minutes were fine.
I thought the minutes were fine. I moved
so
it.
you approved the minutes with an amendment that
I-
John Croft abstained from approving the minutes.
And the vote
And he
to
voted to adjourn.
adjourn was unanimous.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah.
Second?
good by me.
Okay,
All in
have a
favor?
vote?
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
Dean,
Balanced.
Gar? Yeah, his hand is raised. Okay, we're good. Anything else? Next meeting is the 16th.
Right.
People, let me know if there's anything specific you want to say on that agenda.
Your mental health.
With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Okay, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
I'll be hosting some town meeting informational sessions.